Welcome to the Screen Rot Podcast, the podcast where we discuss the weirdest and worst content that's been rotting our screens and indeed our minds. A big biggity ups to everyone who subscribes on Apple, Spotify or YouTube. Doing us a massive favour if you do any of those things. Reviews are nice as well. Big shout out to the people who paid for this podcast, the patrons, the Freemasons on $3.99 a month. They're getting an extra episode just like this every single bloody week. Imagine this, but double for less than £1 a week. Crazy. The Illuminati, $5.99 a month. All of that, plus access to a really deranged group chat and a lovely hat on their head, and priority access to tickets for live events, which we're going to talk about in a moment. Big shout out to Eugene, who runs our Twitter, YouTube Shorts and TikTok. He's sent by God, I do believe. And a big wink and a kiss to the ladies and the homosexuals who listen, who are some of the most gorgeous and indeed sexy ladies and homosexuals in the United Kingdom. I usually only shout out the homosexuals on the Patreon side of things. They can have an extra kiss this week. I'm here with Jake Farrell.
We're going on tour.
We're going on tour! Now, when you're listening to this, we will have already announced that we are going on tour. I've got my calendar in front of me. This will be coming out on the 25th of March for patrons. We announced the tour on the 21st, last Friday. So if you're a Patreon, tickets go on sale tomorrow, Wednesday the 26th for the Illuminati, top tier. Day after that, the Freemasons, the second tier. Day after that, Friday the 28th, so if you're a non-patron, you'll be hearing this on Thursday, which means tomorrow you get a bite of the cherry tickets, if there's any left.
Whew! Admin.
It's hard.
Who would have thought when we first started this grotty little podcast in your spare room?
That's right.
Mango, a kitten at that point.
She still is, man. She's a young mum.
She's a young mum.
She's still fit. She's still sexy.
Yeah.
I've confessed to having a sex dream about her while she gave birth next to me, yes.
What a time to be alive. We would be going all over the UK, all over these fair isles, to even up to Scotland.
Even up to see the Scotch. The good bit of Scotland, though.
What's the bad bit of Scotland?
Edinburgh. Come on. It's pretty easy. Glasgow, good. Edinburgh, posh. Easy.
Yeah, there
done.
you go. Glasgow, better than...
you know there are some rubbish bits of Edinburgh as well. Yeah, and they're rubbish. None of it's good. It's either posh or shit. Glasgow's good. Did you know, I'll tell you, and do you know what? This is one of those things I repeat anytime Glasgow comes up in... How do you say? Do you say Glasgow?
Glasgow, yeah, I guess I would say
I'm a Glasgow man.
Yeah.
I repeat this anytime Glasgow comes up in conversation. My missus has heard me say this upwards of 900 times. She hates me. Do you know Glasgow is built in blocks, perfectly rectangular blocks,
right.
Straight angles, straight 90-degree angles between the streets and the turnings and all that sort of stuff. Exactly the same as New York. And there's been a lot of films that were filmed in Glasgow but pretended to be New York.
Is that true?
That's true. I'm going to say that to you. I would guess about 30 times between now and the Glasgow day.
Okay. That'll be the thing that has me reaching for the gun that I bring in my bag.
Reaching for the electro bong that we'll be toking all the way home on the Caledonian Express, baby. We need to book that. Yeah, so we're going all over the country. Really
I'm
excited,
buzzing, man.
Any particular town or city that we're visiting? I can't remember where we're going. Do you remember where we're going?
We're going to Leeds,
Yes.
Manchester, Brighton, Bristol, Glasgow,
and
not Edinburgh. They won't let us in. You just mug
we might.
it off.
No, we might be going to Edinburgh.
Oh, okay.
And we're going because we're waiting for Jack to.
Oh yeah,
we might go Edinburgh.
We love Edinburgh. We've always loved Edinburgh.
We'll see. Yeah.
No, I think Leeds and Manchester.
And Birmingham.
Birmingham.
We're going to Birmingham.
Are we? I don't think we are.
Sure.
No, I'm pretty sure.
You missed one then. Leeds, Manchester, Bristol, Brighton,
just
Glasgow.
Yeah.
You sure there's not a sixth?
No, I think that's it.
Well, you talk about those five, and I think we're going to.
When we went on your stand-up tour, Leeds was a particular standout. As discussed at the time, there's a curry house literally across the road from the venue.
We surely won't go there again, will we? We fucking will! Come on!
That's the sound of my Pinocchio nose growing. But, I mean, we received wonderful receptions wherever we go. And also, we've only done Screen Rot Live in front of jaded London hipster audiences. I want to get out and meet some real people in the real world across this great nation of ours. And I want to see what all the fuss is about out there. I'm looking forward to it. So, yeah.
Do you know what? We're not going to Birmingham.
No.
I mean, look, if you're listening and you want us to come to Birmingham, we can have a date. We'll go to Birmingham.
I'll
go to Birmingham.
Yeah,
I'll fucking go to Birmingham. I want to go see Cole and Claudia.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, so yeah, get some tickets. You can watch the Rotties, which is the last live thing we did. You can also watch some of our. Have we got one on YouTube?
We've got one on Patreon, yeah. The
one
Christmas
on
shows
YouTube
yeah,
as well.
yeah, right.
But basically, it's not. It won't just be like the off menu boys, Mr. Acaster and Mr. Gamble on footballers' wages, asking film stars.
What their favourite rice is.
What their favourite rice is.
Where they get hummus
right.
in LA.
Yeah. I just think the pickles in certain parts of Dalston are wonderful. So, not to slag,
There's literally nothing I could care less about than what Jamie Demetrio has for dinner. Like, I can't begin to tell you how little I care. The notion that I think that like, it's such a funny thing that it's become such a huge phenomenon, because like some stuff I get where it's like, oh, like those two blokes telling you about history on The Rest is History. That's interesting. I want to learn about history, man. Mm-hmm. Not so much for you, I could tell.
No. I didn't. You know, I'm thick. I'm yeah. No, but as you were talking now, I was like, I like football podcasts.
Yeah,
that's what I like.
Football, I like. Yeah,
that's what I like. That's my brain's comfort place. But I think that's what it's about. See, I think you go to podcasts for enriching your understanding of the world, bit of knowledge.
Yeah, just like this podcast.
Stuff. Yeah, right. That's what people come to us for.
Yeah, edification. Yeah.
The OnlyFans babes last week. We read the Quran.
We didn't do that, but yeah.
Well, you'll have to tune in.
Yeah.
There was a moment where he nearly ran out this room because he thought
I would have
brought a Quran to the.
Every time we do this podcast, I think about just walking out like an American dad in the 50s. I'm just going to get a pack of cigarettes. Never see me again.
People learn from this podcast. You learn from. Whereas I like my podcast as a kind of background hum that puts my brain in a sort of comfort position.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, like when like if you get knocked out at a nightclub, you get put in the recovery position.
I don't know that. Thankfully, touch wood, I've never been knocked out at a nightclub. Although some of the tour dates are in nightclubs, so there's a chance to rectify that.
Would you believe this cunt's been punched in a few nightclubs?
Okay.
But I like to put my brain in the recovery position. I realised it. I was talking to shout out Kev, by the way, a listener and a fantastic musician in the band Real Life.
Right.
Second shout out for those guys.
So. What's a band they are?
We were talking about this, about how like football podcasts are like the kind of that's what I need. I just need someone, man, woman, don't even mind how informed they are.
Yeah.
Just to talk about football.
Right.
For me to relax.
So it's just somewhere above white noise, but below, like lectures about history.
This is it. And I realised this actually like about 10 years ago. I remember I realised that if I go on a night out and things get a bit naughty with, you know, potions and powders, and I'm up all night on that, and I can't sleep, which used to happen quite a lot, like not being able to sleep because I'd done too much, you know, the spliff hasn't kicked in yet, fuck it, I would do anything to sleep right now. What I would do, I'd sort of talk to myself, I'd do an Arsenal podcast in my head. It was always about Aaron Ramsey's positioning. I'd start going, although he works on the outside of the team because he's so good at covering Bellerin, I like him on the interior. And mate, honestly, I swear on my life, I would start the same scripted conversation every single time.
That's so good.
And do you know what? I had a really funny thing. About a year ago, you know, I've got kids and everything now, I don't go out as much. And it was like, about a year ago, I went out, got on it. It wasn't even a particular reason. It was just a random thing. Me and my mates were suddenly like, hang on, are you free tonight? Are you free tonight? Oh my God. We're men in our early 30s and we can go out. And you know, of course we call something in and we get on it and blah, blah. I remember like 4 a.m, like getting home, getting in bed next to my missus, couldn't sleep.
Right.
And I just did the conversation. Like the exact, and not even about the modern Arsenal team.
You did the Aaron Ramsey.
About Aaron Ramsey's
time hasn't moved on in that plane of reality.
You've got to drop Cazorla a little bit deeper so that Ramsey can occupy the central space. Ozil will drift out naturally to the wide positions where he can deliver crosses onto Giroud, and that's where you're hoping for Ramsey to get on the end of loose balls in the box and just finish as he does. I do that. I've got a perfect script in my head. What do you mean?
And it worked. It sent you to sleep?
No.
But
I felt comfortable.
You feel okay. It just gets you like kind of centered and relaxed.
That's it, and I think that's what people get from off menu. I think that's what people get from off menu. They need to hear.
That's an incredible testament to your imagination. The kind of theatre of the mind. You're like Sherlock Holmes. You've got a little mind palace going on in there. Arsenal. You know they keep saying at the moment like
it's the committee.
Yeah, the committee. That's the thing. They've got the committee on the job.
They get their podcast mics out.
Yeah, they get like one of those wind-up gold gramophones. Like that's really a powerful thing. And people say like. One function of AI might be that like you can make your own film, so you can like say or to AI you could prompt it to make a film what they think in the future. So you might be able to say, I want to see Robert De Niro when he was 30 playing in a film with Leonardo DiCaprio when he's also 30 and it's a gangster film and you could write the plot and AI will just kind of churn it out for you. You don't need that. You've just already got that in your brain. You've just got such a powerful imagination that you can convince yourself of that reality.
This is depressing. You're sat there astounded that my intelligence can almost do what artificial intelligence can do. Wow, man. You know, like artificial intelligence, like intelligence created by computers, your intelligence can almost do that.
Yeah, I know, but like, I'm saying that like a lot of people could do that. A lot of people could imagine an Arsenal podcast in their head, but I think there's something special.
Can actually script it.
There's something about scripting it and suspending your disbelief.
Jacob GPT can actually, yeah. But no, my point is, I don't know. I think Acaster and Gamble poppadoms all parade at the Royal Albert Hall.
It's not their fault. It's our fault as a society that we care about what any of these people think about anything.
Sure.
Like Top Draw's the same. I don't care. Where
the hummus is good. Isn't it? It's good. London.
Fuck off. Yeah.
Right, but
if I want Jamie Dimitrio's opinion about anything, it'll be about how to play a developmentally disabled man on TV.
Second pod of the day.
Apparently, when I do that, it's distasteful. But when he does it, he gets a basta.
Yeah, well, this is it. How great was the distance between Derek and Sam?
Yeah.
Let's just have. I know no one likes Ricky anymore. Yeah, we don't like his opinions on gender. Okay. Oh, the Guardian loves Staff, but Ricky,
Yeah.
it's the
beyond
same
the pale.
fucking thing. It's
when Staff's foreign.
Can I just class shame the Guardian?
Please.
Sorry, when a working class man from Reading pretends to be disabled on TV, it's not okay. But when fucking I was trying to describe our live shows.
Oh, amazing.
Sorry, a working class millionaire who lives in Hampstead from Reading isn't allowed to pretend to be disabled when he does Derek.
You can't do anything anymore.
Whereas Staff is fucking
He's lauded as the new Mr. Bean.
Yeah. Ooh. Anyway, my point is we will do a nice show on tour. We'll do a nice show on tour. We'll be able to get to the top. At least they can stay on topic. Fucking off menu watching us. They're trying to talk about the Silverback Tarzan, man. They're just talking about Derek.
Fuck me.
They're just talking. They're trying to class shame the Guardian.
In the second episode, it does, like, I forget that the cameras are on a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, for you, it's the new tonics which you're drinking. Thanks, Chris Williamson, for sending that. The energy drink with the worst logo on earth, but it does really good stuff for your brain.
Not Chris. I've got loads of pills now. He sent me loads of pills for my brain.
Don't take those.
Huh? I've been taking them.
Yeah, the podcast has turned up. Podcast has turned up to 11.
How do you think I GPT that? Anyway, let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, we the topic this week...
Selected by the listeners.
This was selected by the listeners. And I've got to be honest with you, this is really high up in terms of like how many people have requested this
Big
guy.
time.
I've had loads of messages. What I like about this guy is there's a few creators who are kind of similar to him, but this is the maddest one. This is the most kind of...
A lot to get through, and it will really test our powers of analysis, because I think, like you say, he's kind of in the Venn diagram of a few different schools of thought, and I do want to get into it.
And he's a bit mad. He's a bit nutty, but, you know, just like Derek and just like Staff, he thinks kindness is actually really important. I'm doing face, sorry. I keep doing Derek's face.
This week, we're talking about
quick.
the Silverback Tarzan. Oi, get on this.
Please. Oh, I'm on it.
Now, the Silverback Tarzan is an ex-raver who has an interest in drugs.
Yep.
And he likes lifting heavy weights.
Yes.
And he seems to have severely undiagnosed ADHD. And when you take all of those things into account, I think there's a non-0% chance that he's somehow related to you. That's my main takeaway from doing the research on this week's topic, the Silverback Tarzan. I was like, I know this vibe from somewhere. I know this kind of general set of interests from somewhere. And I was like, where is that? What is he? Who is he reminding me of? And there is a world, I think, in which, like...
Now that you say it. You know, I said earlier, I was like, we had a lot of messages saying you should cover
check out this guy.
They've all been to my personal Instagram, not the podcast Instagram. What, on the podcast? What?
What? What do you mean? There is a kind of
You got to see this guy. What's do an episode about?
No.
Episode of what? No. It's me, your mate from school.
The Silverback Tarzan, for people that might not have heard of him, he's got an absolutely huge following. He's got like 450,000 followers on Instagram, 200,000 followers on TikTok almost.
Yeah.
And he is a 51-year-old guy, and he's a pilot, kind of light aircraft pilot from Sussex.
Is it?
Yeah. And basically, he's jacked. That's it. That's the main thing.
That's the hook.
Plus some weirdness along with it that we'll get into. But I just want to start by kind of referencing his attempts to monetize this slightly odd set of kind of interests and skills, because
Skills is a stretch.
if you go on his website, he's selling merch. Now, one of the pieces of merch, and I'll put a picture of this up, and I fucking will put it up, is a greetings card that you can buy. You can buy, like, which is a slightly odd thing to make, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you can buy a greetings card, and it looks like this. It's just a picture of him taking on a camera phone with his shirt off.
With his hat. With his hat.
With @Silverback Tarzan underneath it.
Wow.
Now imagine getting that in the post. Congratulations on the birth of your new son. Here's a picture of a 51-year-old jacklight aircraft pilot.
He's a henchman.
The other thing that's great about how he's trying to monetize it is he's trying to do the Patreon. We all are, brother.
Right, okay.
Nothing wrong with that.
So what do you get from his page?
You get a number of things. You get recipes, workout plans,
right.
playlists.
Wow.
And I think access to some kind of Q&A service.
So he becomes your personal trainer?
Well, I think you could just maybe ask him questions on like the chat or whatever. Now, there's a whole section of his website, a sub-tab of his website that says Patreon. It then lists out the things that you receive for the Patreon, and it says the Patreon is now up and running, sign up now.
Yep.
I can't find evidence of it anywhere. It doesn't link to it on the page. And unless I'm just kind of like not searching the right thing, I don't know if he's discontinued it since or whatever. But like, this is clearly a man who maybe wasn't expecting this, I think it's fair to say, and is trying to grapple with that. So and we can probably relate in those terms, right?
Yeah, sure. I didn't think I'd be spending my fucking days posting hats.
Yeah, right.
There is certainly a level of that to us. I mean, I think the thing with us, I don't want to sort of compare ourselves to
The Silverback Tarzan.
Well, I don't want to say we're better than the Silverback Tarzan as
more coherent
as content creators. Yes. I don't know if we're better. I think with us, there's a more tried and tested pathway. We can message Vittorio Angeloni and go, "Hey, you guys do a podcast Patreon.
Yes, please tell us what to do.
It's an extra episode a month,
we're imbeciles,
week, whatever. Yeah, sweet. Okay, we will do that."
Don't, whatever you do, message? Have a go at the 3 or 4 most important people in British comedy. All right, we won't. Yeah, no, we won't do that.
We think Ricky Gervais is brilliant. Don't remember insulting Ricky Gervais or the other 3 most important people in comedy, who would be Jasper Carrot, and Sarah Pascoe, who I don't have anything to say about apart from saying she's a very important comedian.
Yeah.
There is, you can watch very closely in this episode. No cut.
Yeah. You've always been very positive about Sarah Pascoe, I'll say that.
Let me tell you which bit of Sarah Pascoe.
Fuck off, idiot! Fuck's sake, I'm going to have to cut that.
No, you're not! Right, come on. Back to Silverback Tarzan. The point I was trying to make with Silverback Tarzan, like, who does he text? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What other hench people created a Patreon for people who like hench people?
Who like the playlist that hench people make?
Who else went, okay, well, I'm in my 50s, tonk and mad, and yeah, I want to sell some birthday cards. Do you know what I mean? Vittorio's not doing that. Like, what do you do?
Yeah, it's not a recognisable business model, is it?
This is the thing, is like you... It's not, but I tell you what, being an old hench guy, that's in.
That is
old
in.
hench guys are in.
Yeah.
The Eddie Abus of this
world.
Well,
he does share
He's
a bit
an old
of
hench guy.
He does share a bit of like similar vibes to
Cut
Eddie
the
Abu.
bullshit. And I'll be honest
no
with
bad
you,
food, that kind of thing.
This is it.
Live like a primal animal kind of thing.
It's always that. They always want to be cavemen or primal animals. You want to sit them down and be like, so here's the Silverback Tarzan.
Yeah.
Silverback, reference to a gorilla.
Yes.
Tarzan, he was a sort of monkey man in the jungle, right? That's Tarzan?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it.
No, it's a book first, but yeah.
It's a book?
Yeah, it's an old classic book, yeah.
Is it? But he's a monkey man in the jungle.
Have you seen the animated Tarzan?
No, I don't think so.
Phil Collins does the soundtrack for the animated Tarzan. Would you
Oh,
believe?
really? Yeah.
And it's a remarkable thing because
You're a Genesis fan, aren't you?
big time.
Yeah.
I'm a Collins fan first and foremost. Is that sacrilege to say? I feel like your old man's into Genesis, is he?
My dad, yeah, like
They usually are, right?
Yeah. Pink Floyd, Genesis.
Yeah, but I love Pip Collins, and the Tarzan soundtrack when I was growing up. He just didn't have to do it to us like that, man. He did not have to go so ham on that track.
To go so hard on that.
He didn't.
No, I do remember the sound. What were some of the songs from the soundtrack?
There's a song called "Son of Man" on it that just.
How's that go? You
I'm
want to
not
do a
gonna
little bit? No, but we need to hear a bit of it.
I'll insert a bit here.
Do you want me to play it?
No, I don't want you to play it.
Hang on. Play "Son of Man" by Phil Collins.
Great podcasting. This is going to get copyright struck on YouTube as well.
Oh yeah, I remember all this.
It's a belter, right?
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Right. So anyway, we're talking about Tarzan.
No. Yeah. So, but my point was, there's always this thing like, and I haven't watched loads of Silverback Tarzan.
No.
But him, the Eddie Abuse, a lot of the sort of trainers of this world, it's like, fuck all the processed stuff. Get fucking you fucking idiots. You don't need Cheerios. It's all stuff like that. So it's like breakfast cereal. It's like, I think they're all right, aren't they?
Yeah.
They've always got a thing with rapeseed oil. They really hate rapeseed oil.
Really?
Have you not seen this? They all hate rapeseed oil. They're like, these fucking dirt. And they always just say the same thing with rapeseed oil. It's like, you know that they use that to lubricate machinery.
Yeah, right.
So they could use olive oil. Do you know what I mean? It's just,
it's oil.
Yeah, it's oil, man.
This is a thing now, isn't it? Like in the right wing kind of like.
It's kind of right wing a bit.
Sphere,
It's the kind of
Bobby Kennedy.
Cut the bullshit. Come on, guys. None of this.
The corporations are poisoning us.
This is it. We have to get back to living like cavemen.
Yeah.
And you want to be like, you know, cavemen died at like 30.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's
Have
like,
you seen Coach Carnivore Cam? He looks like he's about to keel over at any
doesn't have
time.
any eyebrows. He's also like he's been.
He looks like he was at Chernobyl.
Coach Carnivore Cam was doing the like carnivore thing. He's been doing it for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Like I've been watching him for 2
Doing it
years.
for years,
He's not got any hencher.
And he's not even old.
No.
He's probably younger than us.
This guy, the Silverback Tarzan, he wants you to live like a gorilla, right? That's his whole thing.
Yeah, he says that he's a kind of elemental force. It's very difficult to stress if you're not watching on Spotify or YouTube how jacked he is.
I mean, I would go as far as to say, it's not what they call in the fitness industry
natty.
It's not a natty, a natural. It is not a natural.
Interesting
look.
how
he's on steroids.
Yes, I was going to say you kind of really hesitated there to accuse him or allege something. You've said some heinous stuff on here that I've had to cut out. But the guy who is obviously on steroids, you're like, he's not what we'd call natty.
The guy who would obviously punch my head. Who
snap you like a twig.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, God, you've been a bit careful with the hench guy. Yeah, I might be. Fucking hell.
True.
What, the out of business barbershop that I admitted to maybe, I don't know, phoning and pretending to be someone I wasn't? I'm not that worried.
Yeah, the lunatic from Sussex who could like break our arms like
Who
they
could
were
fly to my
poppadoms.
house in a fucking plane and then crack my head like a coconut.
What's your favourite word when someone's jacked? You said tonk earlier. I enjoy tonk. Wedge? Do you like wedge?
I like wedge.
Yeah.
I like all this. Yeah, I like tonk. Tonk's
Ripped.
one of my favourite. No, because this is the thing, and I've explained this a couple of times on the pod. But like, I don't like ripped. I don't think I've got less respect for him because he's got abs. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I think
you want to look like Grant Mitchell.
I think abs are gay, and I want to get big. And this is the thing. You and I are obviously working with the same personal trainer at the moment to get
wonderful man, Zach Southall and the team, Rob.
And Rob, big Rob,
he's wedge.
That was it. Rob's wedge.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's tonk.
Yes. This is it. We got introduced to this, and we'll talk about it a bit. It's not gonna be a plug necessarily because I don't know how kind I'm gonna be. But Zach Southall approached us. He also trains our Irish friends, Mike and Vittorio.
Always stipulate they're Irish.
They're Irish people, and they're soil men, and so Zach trains them, and he was like, "Can we train you?" And shout about us on your podcast, blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, cool. But Zach's a skinny man.
Do you reckon?
I know. I've seen.
He doesn't look like Silverback Tarzan, but he doesn't look like me. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like he's appreciabably bigger than me.
Hench.
Yeah.
He listens.
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking him. He looks fit. I don't know if I'd say he looks hench. He looks fit. Whereas, and I was like,
what was it you said about abs?
Yeah.
Right, so he's fit.
No, yeah.
He's a kind of hybrid athlete, right? He's doing running and stuff as well. He's not just lifting weights.
Gay stuff. And so when I signed up, I was like, listen, mate, none of your fucking swimming and handstands hoodoo. I want fucking
Silverback Tarzan.
I want
stuff.
Silverback Tarzan, but I don't want the abs. I just want shoulders.
Okay, right.
And he was like, right, let me introduce you to my right hand man. And then there's this other fella who works for the Stack Southall called Rob, and he's like a proper, chewing on a brick for breakfast, kind of like, headbutts his way through walls, kind of.
He's a big guy.
He's a big guy, and that's what I need. And Silverback Tarzan's a big guy. We'll get back on track. But Silverback Tarzan, should we watch a clip?
So this is a few clips. We've got quite a few clips. This is a mad kind of trailer that someone made for him. And it's, like I say, a lot of it's about kind of being elemental, being primal, clues in the name kind of thing. But this is a truly deranged trailer that was made for the Silverback Tarzan.
Before I had everything. Fell apart.
Now, if you're listening rather than watching, there's a very badly photoshopped bird going over his head. He's got his shirt off.
I didn't want it to end.
That's the raver coming in him.
Help but make mistakes.
Now he's stood on the beach, getting covered in waves.
Then I turn the corner and I find out that it's left a void or a hole. Time is going to shoot past so quickly, and you don't realise how fast it goes till you get older.
I don't even know what this is trying to do.
Look around. Have a look. Our life's not going to be the way you think it is. That's the end of it.
Now he's rubbing mud on his face. He's stood under the stars.
Life is always going wrong, but only due to me wanting to put it right. I don't think you can ever be right in life.
This is some fucked up shit.
No matter how much you chase to get where you want.
He's got Gary's Econ's hoodie on.
Process. You'll never get satisfied by chasing. Learning how to sort of be quiet about these things.
I think that's enough of that. This is kind of this mad trailer that doesn't really do anything, but kind of gives you a sense of who he is. He's talking in these meaningless aphorisms about life passing and stuff. But the odd thing is, he kind of got the voice of my granddad used to have. Do you know what I mean?
I like his voice.
I know, I like his voice as well. But you associate this kind of rubbish with like Yank stuff, right? Like that David Goggins guy or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
It's very weird hearing it just in like a southeastern, like, hello, mate, I'm the Silverback Tarzan.
Yeah.
It's a bit odd.
Have you done your research on him?
I've done what research is available. There is not anything out there that is context for how on earth he got this big.
Right, well,
there's his
I
own.
I can tell you how he got that big. It's steroids.
No. I mean, like as a personality. Like,
oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's also
both.
Kind of
so it's not like, oh, there was this moment where this one video went viral and everything kicked off from there. It just seems to have grown a lot over time because he's odd. Like, to be fair to him, like he's an odd presence, again, as we talk about every week, optimised for engagement due to shock. And there's a bit of shock and strangeness here. The first shock is, wow, that guy's fucking jacked. Second is, he's old.
Yes, it's those two things, wow, he's hench and old.
Yeah, and thirdly, he's kind of behaving slightly strangely and saying this strange stuff.
But, okay, this is what I'm trying to dig into, though, the strange stuff that he's saying. He kind of keeps alluding to something going wrong.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
He is a man with a past, I think.
But what is it?
It's drugs.
Okay, right.
It's drugs and raving.
But what went wrong? This is what I don't get. I mean, there's a bit. Do you know Mike Skinner?
Yeah.
There's a bit in his book that I really like, where he was like, people kept saying you've got a drug problem. He's like, well, it wasn't a problem. I was just doing drugs.
Right.
But what's the problem?
Well,
that's kind of what I mean with him.
In this next video, he kind of gets into that a bit through also the medium of dance.
It's just interesting because in that one we just watched, there was a lot of like, you think life's gonna go well and then it don't, and like there'll always be a problem and the problem's me. And it's like, what happened? Like, how?
Sound like anyone?
But well, fuck off.
Dad?
I think that's a weird thing now. Where like I think the mental health conversation has become so normalised that you can just say that.
Yes.
And no one goes, what's wrong?
Yeah.
Like,
what's up?
Yeah, well, I think that's mad. How like you can just accept that a bloke will just go, "Our life will always go to shit, and that's just what it's like." And like, it shouldn't be that you just go, "Yeah, man, well done for being honest and vulnerable." It should be like, "What? What's up?
We need to take you to an hospital?"
This whole "it's okay not to be okay" thing. It shouldn't be okay to just film yourself going, "And like my life's fucking shit, and it's my fault, but at least I go to the gym." It's like, no, that's not all right at all.
It is this thing, and we've spoken about it in the past as well, where it's like this older men gesturing towards mental health.
Yeah.
And we've talked about how like they don't always quite have the right vocabulary for it.
Yeah.
And they'll like be that kind of like, I have quarter depression, that kind of thing that we've talked about before. But like, he is kind of like, he's quite a sweet character from all of these videos that I've watched. He's quite like a sweet idiot in a way. Not an idiot, like he's just a kind of like nice, normal guy. But then he's fucking jacked, as discussed. And like, so in this video, in this mad trailer, he's trying to make like a kind of hype video, right? And so like he's in his garden with his arms kind of posed like he's on a crucifix and he's fucking jacked. But then in the background, you could just see his kid's trampoline. It's just like this odd juxtaposition of like the elemental with the everyday.
We'll watch the next clip. And I'm just looking, it's 4 minutes.
We're not going to watch all of it.
But I just want to say, he's not separated from the missus.
There is a missus involved who we'll come to in a minute, yeah.
Okay, well, let's just get to it.
So,
I need to know the story. I am also aware when you say things like, he's just a nice idiot.
Yeah.
Because you opened this podcast by being like, he reminds me of you. I can't help but think, is this how you describe me to other people? He's just a nice idiot.
I don't say the nice bit. But this is him. So this is what he kind of got famous for. He's in like a room in his house that looks like a garage with loads of records in the background.
I think it's a basement. There's
like
no
a
windows.
Basement.
Yeah.
And he'll do these long talks to camera. And here's one of them.
Yeah, I was like 14 when I started smoking weed.
Sick.
14, 15, 16.
Yeah.
It's just dancing.
17,
That's part of his
18
thing. He likes to
years
dance.
Passed. The rave scene come around.
This goes on for 5 minutes.
Moving, acid, mushrooms, everything you could ever think of.
Yes.
It was all there. Year after year after year.
That's spoken word poetry.
Shedding tears as marriages went weird.
Oh, it is spoken word poetry.
As marriages went weird.
Tears. Lost loads of things. Lost many years.
Get the
Under
one
the influence, I shed many tears.
Wow.
word again.
Grooving for years.
Yes.
Training,
Okay.
running,
Yeah.
lifting, painkillers,
Oh.
inflammation, B13s, HPS 600s.
What's that?
LED.
That's a lie.
You ain't kidding me.
Now, it goes on like that for another 4 minutes. And just again, the room that he's filming this in looks like somewhere that ISIS would hold prisoners. Like it does have the vibe of like my captors are treating me well, and he's just down there doing spoken word poetry. And like you say, there are these kind of vague allusions, not even that vague, but just like I was doing loads of drugs, marriages went south, and like he now has that zealot commitment to the way of life that's got him out of that spiral. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which often happens. Like, I think a couple of my dad's friends are like ex-football hooligans turned born-again Christians. Like, or like there's like,
Yeah, something saves you. I think that's what it is. Is something saves you.
and by the way, that's good, right? Like, better that than the other way round.
I guess so. Yeah. It is that kind of thing of like, bench press never let me down. Do you know what I mean? Wives come and go, but the squat rack was always there. Do you know what I mean? It's always that. It's the drugs left me feeling like shit, but press ups didn't. It's that, and it's always men. It's never women in this situation. It's always men who that has the same vibe as we did an episode. It's the first episode of this we ever did, and it's Big John.
Yes.
Bosh sat there hammered on a Saturday,
Yes.
talking down the camera about how a Rottweiler will never leave you.
Yes.
And it's like that's it. Like for Big John, it's Rottweilers and Chinese food. For this guy, it's bench press.
Yes.
And dance music. And
What is it for you?
For me,
Podcasting. The Zoom PodTrack P4 never lets you down.
I don't. Yeah. Yeah. It is a bit, yeah. I don't know. I mean, you know, I don't want to sound too preemptive, but my life hasn't gone to shit yet. I will know when my missus does leave with the kids, and I am using when rather than if, but when my missus does leave with the kids, I will know. I will know what's still there for me. It might be podcasting. It might be... I'm not as hench as him. I'm not as...
Yeah.
No, I don't know what will still be there. The electro bong, I suspect.
What's the cornerstones of your life? The electro bong and Just Eat. Uber Eats never lets you down. You can't have a frown where the kebab's in town. In the garage with Mango.
I do think yeah, but it might be the. I can't fuck that cat's doing my fucking head in at the moment.
It's not the cat.
She's not a good cat. She's not a good mum. She's not, man. She's fucking not. Honestly, I don't like to judge because I'm no parent.
You're judging her on a human scale, are you, or are you judging her
she
compared
just
to?
fucks off and leaves the kid. She
Yeah,
just
but I
fucks
mean,
off.
isn't that not what cats do?
Come on, they're your kids. Like, I want to do it half the time. I don't. Arsenal are playing Real Madrid at the Emirates in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be looking after my kids.
Good luck.
I don't know what's going to happen with that yet. Right.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not a 0% chance that you.
Well, my missus is working. I need to try and get her to not go to work. I mean, I can't say that I'm going to get her to put a sickie, but that's kind of what I want her to do. Right. But like, or I might have to call in babysitters, but the kids won't want babysitters. They'd much rather it was me with them all night.
Yeah, it's annoying, isn't
But
it?
I want to go to the Emirates.
Yeah.
But you know what I'll probably do is probably stay with my kids. Whereas the fucking cat, she's out the back door. As soon as she sees, like, I don't know, there'll be like a strimmer in the park. She's out and wants to go look at the strimmer.
Yeah.
Leave her fucking kittens. Go. Meh, 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 meh.
She's going to watch Pussy FC,
yeah.
otherwise known as Arsenal.
I hate when you slag off Arsenal on this podcast.
It's the only thing that you don't like. Anything else?
There's no need. And you've got the fucking whole of mainstream media, Neville and Carragher. as if they're not doing enough.
When the PGMOL are gaslighting Arsenal fans every single day.
Yeah.
When the whole of the medical community is on Liverpool's side to try and get their
The
players
reason
fit.
I have to sit here scripting Arsenal stuff in my head is because you never get Carragher appreciating how Aaron Ramsey runs into a box. You never get Neville spotting it because all drops deep and
it's the last great taboo, isn't it?
He actually receives the ball off the defence more often than the defensive midfielder does, and Coquelin would push up to press. Anyway, you will find it hasn't happened to me yet, and it hasn't happened to you yet. You will find in the darkest moments of your life what is still there.
Right.
For the Silverback Tarzan, it was obviously that kind of music and exercise.
Yes, that's what gave his life meaning.
Yeah.
But in this next clip, right, so like we said, it's kind of like this
weed.
odd thing, right, where he's like in this world, he's jacked. If you just looked at the pictures of him, you'd be like, oh, that guy lives in like Austin and all he eats is steak and he runs like 100 miles a day.
Yeah.
He lives in Sussex with his completely normal wife. And
That's
they're
nice. That's nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. He's a really sweet, normal guy that's got I think he's slightly bemused as to what's happening as well. And these videos, I think, are an interesting counterpoint to where he's like rapping in his basement. Because this one, he's talking with his partner, I assume wife, maybe not, about his weed smoking days. Again, we're not watching all of this, but this is the same guy that was just doing the spoken word poetry.
I feel like they're working really well.
Talk a bit about like how you actually stop, because that's useful for people, because
Again, sounds like my nan.
that is actually useful to know how to go about stopping.
Yeah, I stopped over a period of time and I had to realise that nicotine and if you're smoking spliffs with fags, that's something that you're being
been there,
chased
brother.
by the nicotine. So that's one thing you've got to get rid of, because I smoked from 18, I was smoking joints, raving, smoked every day because I'm half gangster.
He's half gangster.
You are.
And then
See, they've got a lovely relationship.
Because I had an attitude, I'll do what I want in my life, and so then I had to realise what nicotine was chasing me up all the time to have a puff. So as it gets to breakfast, I have a puff, or it comes to lunchtime, tea time, whatever time it is, the nicotine's making me have it. So then I'll go through times.
But you didn't think it at that time. I'd say to you, it is the nicotine. And you'd be like, no, it's not. I really enjoy a smoke. And so it's a curious thing, because the nicotine so deceiving. It's so deceiving, and I've spoken to so many smokers who are like, I don't smoke nicotine. I only smoke spliffs, and they're 100% convinced that they're not addicted to nicotine. So if that's you, like, think really carefully, because
She makes more sense in 15 seconds than he did in the rest of the video.
A couple of things I really like in that. One of them is he's got this. He claims to be half gangster.
Yes.
Love that.
Love that. That's class.
Love that. I also like, there was one point where we went, and the thing is with me, like in my life, I just do what I want.
Yeah.
Remember that bit?
Yeah.
Oh,
What a man. Also, he's got his old man glasses on. I think it's funny when jacked old men have to put their reading glasses on.
yeah. It breaks the character,
Yeah, it
doesn't
does.
it? It looks like, you get those kids' books where it's like you can do a different character's legs, body, and head.
Yeah.
It's like you've just done that bit of their face is a different character. Do you know what I mean? It's like the rest of the character is like, Arnie Hench, and then that bit is like geography teacher.
Yeah. That's like he's got circus strongman on the body, and he's got science nerd as the face.
I love watching a really hench old guy.
Yeah.
Eddie Abu does this. He has to put on his reading glasses
to look at his
and
phone.
really strain to look at the phone. It's like this tiny iPhone in this massive fucking paw. Yeah.
And so, like, what I think is kind of fascinating. I know what's going on in the thumbnail. What's fascinating is, like I say, he's kind of been thrust into he's trying to do the thing that an Eddie Abu or maybe a more skilled lifestyle communicator would do, which is to be like, I got off weed and like now I devote myself to discipline, because he's just kind of like quite a sweet middle-aged man. He's just like, yeah, I'm half gangster. I used to love a puff, but now I like going and lifting weights. And his wife's like, come on, tell them about how you got off weed. He's just like,
yes. Well, what I recognise in her, and I do notice this in my relationship with my partner sometimes, this doesn't feel great, but it's like there is a kind of and I think this does exist in most heterosexual male female relationships,
right?
And it's not to lean into the Oedipal thing, but there is a level of maternal kind of like, come on, try and get your words out. Like Alana does that with me,
right.
My missus does that with me, and she knows I'll get cocky and I'll start chatting my sort of like like he's half gangster. I'll talk about how I'm part traveller, and I'll start to, the thing is, in my life I do what I want, and then she'll be like, Jakey, just tell the waiter what you'd like for lunch. I mean, obviously I'm travelling myself, like through my nan in terms of heritage and that, and I do what I want. She's like, you said you just wanted to get the pasta. Just tell them how you'd like the pasta.
But it's also like you've got a good message. Like that's the other thing I think that's funny is that like I think you could be really eloquent. You often are on this podcast about the topic of being a good dad and a good husband, but then you will chuck in like I'm half traveller, and I can imagine being like, no, but say how you were parenting Lua the other day. Yeah, that was beautiful. Yeah, I love a spliff. I love the electro bong. Anyone got a kebab?
And I also, what he's doing, which is what I do, and anyone who's like, I think anyone who's kind of like got whatever it is that's wrong with both me and this man, right? And it is a kind of head trauma thing of like you don't grow up, and I think it's quite common in men, and all of us fall into this a little bit of like we do still have teenage brain. Like I think women develop differently.
I find that incredidly endearing, by the way, in him. And
he's like a little boy.
Yes,
I was watching a bit of him earlier. There was a bit of he was at like an airport or something, and he sort of put his camera on a tripod. He was like, "Oi, watch this," and he sort of says something like, "This is how you live when you just do what you want." And he like went over to like a sort of coffee table. You know, like in airports they've got that weird furniture that's all nailed to the floor.
Yeah.
I guess you can't throw it at a pilot's head and try and do a jihad or something, but not or any other religious thing that makes you want to blow up a plane. I don't know. Right? There's all the furniture's nailed to the floor.
Yeah.
There's like a table. He just goes over to it and just does a handstand on it.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Whoa!"
So this is.
Have you got that?
No, I've got the. We'll play that now. So there's one where he's trying to do an Eddie Abu thing in the supermarket with his missus.
But the only thing I was going to say about the handstand thing, I was watching it, I was like, God, that's like my son would do that. My 2-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the vibe. So this one, he's trying to be Eddie Abu in the supermarket and talking about obesity.
So like, at the end of every good aisle, they put alcohol. So the healthy stuff, they've got to put something at the end of it.
You can hear M people playing in the background, which I like.
Celebration. You're in the moment, you've eaten some steak. What should we do? Let's have some wine. Wine and alcohol is one of the biggest killers in the world. So just have some.
Yeah.
So he just goes and
For
he does
audio
that.
listeners, he's just sort of balancing himself using his hands on the front of a trolley that his wife is pushing, and it is like a toddler. This is
the good aisles.
that's a hard watch.
Men are class, man.
Do you know why that's a hard watch? I do that. Not like that. I can't do that.
No.
That takes a lot of core strength. I don't know. I do that.
You do stuff like that.
Lana will be like, stop it, and I'll like race. You know, like you can sort of push yourself up on the handlebars of the trolley and like race along the super. I do that. And there's another thing I recognise. I mean, I do recognise a lot of myself in this man. I have to say, I am sure I am my own father's son, but this guy, there's a lot. There's another thing
going on there.
The whole like he's willing to slag off alcohol.
Yes.
But the one you realise in the weed thing, and this is a lot of ex-smokers do this. They're not willing to say that weed was the problem. They're like, yeah, well, I mean, the problem is it had nicotine in it, and the nicotine was really chasing you. And you can see his wife's like, yeah, but the weed made you mad as well. He's like, I don't know. You can tell in his head, he's like, no, I reckon I probably could just have weed. I won't. You and the doctors have said fine. But I don't think the weed was ever actually a problem.
I knew a couple of people that were definitely addicted to weed growing up, and they would always say that it actually doesn't have any addictive properties.
Yeah, always.
Always say that.
Always. And I will say, like, as someone who has a little take on the electro-bong, I've seen, just talk about weed for a minute, I have seen more people, like, lose their minds to weed than any other substance. And,
Right.
I've obviously got to say, like, of course people can ruin their lives with coke or fucking cat or heroin or whatever. Weed more so than any other drug, I've seen people lose it. And yet there are still a lot of people like him who are like,
Yeah.
I know you guys will say it, I think it's okay. Weed is fucking crazy. I grew up with this lad, I won't say his name because I'm sure there's people who are friends of ours who listen and like whatever. I grew up with this lad who, like, this guy was the most bubbly, fucking loudest guy in class,
Right.
proper class clown, really funny guy. 14, 15, found weed. It got way too into it.
Right.
By the time he was like 17, by the time he was 17, it got to a point like, so he would like, he was smoking on his own, which I think like, even if you're fucking 20 something, I don't know. He was smoking weed on his own, but obviously because he was like young enough to still be obviously living at home, and his parents don't want him doing it. He would be hiding in the garden.
Right.
But there'd become this kind of unspoken acceptance between him and his parents
He was smoking weed.
that he was doing it, and so the kind of their shed became his little bong house. He'd put a fish tank in there. He'd put
A fish tank?
he had a fish tank in there. He'd put fucking he'd done all this stuff. He got a fucking like. He got like a record player. It was like, Zach Galifianakis, the American guy who loves weed. It was like he was like that, but he was like this 17-year-old kid just sat there, just like, yeah, man. And I remember the funniest thing, right? So my mum's got a weird thing with animals, and like when she was young, when she was a kid, my mum, she had loads of weird pets.
Right.
She had a monkey at one point. She had a pet duck. This is all in Ireland. It was really weird. But at one point when she was a kid, she had a tortoise.
Right.
Now, I don't know when this happened, but at some point when I was like 10, 12, I think it's one of my dad's mates, somehow a tortoise became available. We became aware of a tortoise that was needed a home. So we got this fucking tortoise.
Tortoise became available.
The
It's
tortoise became-
the most Hertfordshire sentence that anyone's ever said.
Someone down the pub,
Have you heard?
one of my dad's mates, or
100%.
someone that I played football with,
1,000,000% that business interaction began in the pub.
Yeah.
And it started with a story about your mum having a tortoise, and we're going, there's a tortoise available, didn't you? What?
Yeah, Tony lives around the corner.
There's a tortoise
his
available right now.
ex-wife's got a tortoise she needs to rehome. Anyway, we end up with this fucking tortoise.
Yeah, it was available.
And it was a nightmare because we had a cat at the time. We had 2 sausage dogs. The tortoise was just fucked. Like honestly, it was getting chased around. Like there was nowhere safe
Slowly
for this
chased
tortoise. And
around.
me and my sister weren't like we weren't. We were young enough that we were picking it up, and I remember putting it on my sister's head while she was playing on the computer, and she moved her head, and the tortoise fell on the floor. It's not good. Tortoise was fine, but it's not good. So we get like a few years later, it's like, this isn't fucking working. We need to rehome the tortoise. It's like, where'd you put a tortoise? And then I was like, my mate.
Yeah. The bong
I was
house.
like, Charlie.
The bong house, yeah.
It was like, this guy, he is a tortoise. Because the weed had slowed him down so much. I was like, this is where, and the fucking tortoise went to live in the shed with my mate, the stoner.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'd go round, like, and his mum would be like, he's in the back. I'd be like, I don't know. I'd go knock on the door in the shed, and it's like, they'd just be sat there. He's like, yeah, man. And the fucking tortoise is just like, yeah. There was never a more perfect, like, pair. This guy and this tortoise. It's like, fuck. You know, like when two people meet each other and they've never met, and you're like, oh, you guys. Fucking hell, are you gonna get on? This guy and this tortoise, I swear, it was, and everyone who I met, everyone who was like, "What are you gonna do with that fucking tortoise?" I was like, "I'm gonna give it to Charlie." They were like, "Oh my god, yes." Fucking hell, they're gonna get on, and it's like in my head, this obviously didn't happen. It's like if this was like an American film, it'd be like, dun, 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 just the two of us, dun, dun, we can make it if we. And like the tortoise is sat on the vinyl player going round. The tortoise is going round on a record. Like the tortoise is having a go on the spliff. Charlie drops the bong. The tortoise picks it up and passes it back.
The tortoise becomes as big as a horse. Charlie's riding it around the garden. Fuck
I don't
me.
know how we got into that. Anyway, we talk about weed. But yeah.
Fucking hell. Oh my god, my stomach's hurting so much. Fucking hell.
It's like Cheech and Chong.
I'm still-
It's Charlie and the tortoise. He's still got it. They live about 100 years. The tortoise is going to outlive. The tortoise will bury Charlie one day. The tortoise will be there'll be a funeral. Charlie, picture of Charlie next to a coffin. The little tear going down the tortoise.
Tortoise will be reading "Stop All the Clocks" at his funeral. Oh my God! I still can't get over the point where you thought, "Who can we give the tortoise to? Who's the person I know who's most like a tortoise?"
I just remember like,
Chaz, Jacob Orley.
It's got to be Charlie. It's got to be Charlie.
How the fuck did we get onto that?
I don't think he's happy to demonise alcohol and go, yeah, you have a steak and you think but when he talks about weed, you can see he's like, I think nicotine was the issue, not the weed. So I've taken us so off track. Let's get back to the Silverback.
Well, there's only a couple more to do, but this one is like, again, he has that childlike kind of wonder, and this is a very short clip of him talking about women that I think displays that very well.
The childlike.
One of the biggest times that women feel horny is when they can't have it, when you ain't chasing them down. That makes women well horny.
What the fuck is he going on about? Underneath it, for those of you not watching, it says "lol old school vid." I might have to watch that again.
I'm telling you now, that man still smokes weed. I am fucking...
One of the biggest times that women feel horny is when they can't have it, when you ain't chasing them down. That makes women well horny.
Now,
I'm telling you, there is no way on this earth that bollocks does he not smoke weed. Why is he in the basement?
Kevin, what are you doing down there?
Nothing. You can see in his eyes. I do that again. Sorry, and people will know. People who follow our Instagram account will know. Every now and then, late night on a Thursday, you'll see me bloody-eyed, and it won't be saying that, but it'll be saying something like, "Oi, if you notice the Angel Boys are fucking, I'll tell you what.
They're class,
Oi,
man.
one thing about Beaver you might not know. It's you're so stoned, and then a little thought bubble comes into your head, and you go, that is fucking smart.
Yeah.
That is. I tell you know who's gonna like this? The world.
400,000 people on Instagram.
He's been sat there, stoned out of his nut, and he's gone, remember that time that woman like you, and you weren't even cracking on? Yeah, that's women, isn't
That's
it?
women.
You know what? It probably turns them on more when you don't want it. Yeah, bit of an old school thing.
Looks to his right, there's just a tortoise going round on a vinyl.
The tortoise is whispering in his ear. Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. Here, let me tell TikTok about that. Oi, get on this.
Also, it kind of put me in mind of today. This comedian Finlay Christie put out this video, which was like a peep show if it was in 2025.
We're very complimentary about Finlay, aren't we?
We haven't.
Well, I don't know what you're about to say. You might be about to say.
No. I thought it was like unbelievably well observed and well acted. Yeah. But there is it made me think about it because there is a little bit of like, this is maybe what happens to Jez when he's 51
or Superhands.
That
could be if
like
Superhands,
the zealot's approach to drug taking but applied to like physical activity,
that's
but
right.
Still smokes a bit on the side.
I mean that feels, especially because he looks down the camera as he's saying it, that feels like a cut scene.
From Peep Show.
I met this man at a pub. He really does feel like he knows how to seduce women, but he's a bit strange the way he says things. Oi, Mark, you know what makes women well horny? Well horny is so funny.
That's great.
Well horny.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, that's amazing.
How do I'm going to repeat that to my girlfriend at least 9 times.
Without context, without telling her.
No. She'll know. She'll be like, where did you get that? Who said that? Stop saying that. Fuck off. Right.
Yeah.
But I have to say that to someone now.
Mm.
That is so good. Can we? Sorry, one more.
This might be the first time we've ever watched a clip 3 times, but this is again.
Do you know what makes women well horny?
One of the biggest times that women feel horny.
The biggest times.
Is when they can't have it, when you ain't chasing them down. That makes women well horny.
That's Superhands. It is Superhands.
One of the biggest times. One of the biggest. This guy's the fucking best.
Men are class, man.
This is class.
Men are class.
One of the biggest times that make women all.
You mean to tell me that man stopped smoking weed?
Fuck
the
off.
The guy said that the
he
biggest
is stoned
time
out of his nut. There is no way on
my
earth.
God.
And I'll tell you what, for anyone who is thinking of packing in the weed or the cannabis or whatever, fucking, I tell you what, steak doesn't make you feel that good.
No, it never does it?
So what we got here? So the human being loses his health earning money, and then he loses.
I mean, this is
his
just a final one of him
God.
dancing. I don't really know how much more there is to add, really.
So he's got a Muhammad Ali quote on the
Yeah.
screen. I mean, okay, so let's before we watch him dance, because we're not going to get anything out of that. Let's try and find our stance. Let's try and find
our
verdict.
thesis.
Come on, we can't just circle the airport. We can't just talk about
Got to land the plane.
tortoises and my mate in his shed. We've got to land this plane. Where are we on the Silverback Tarzan? Right. There's a level of he doesn't know what to do, which I think is quite endearing.
He's had fame thrust upon him, and
Fame
he's
thrust
dealing with it the best he can.
Dealing with it the best he can. He's got a postcard with his Instagram handle on it. He's got a Patreon that there's no link to.
Yeah.
Right.
He's not ready-made for it in the way that some of these American psychos are.
He's getting the wife involved, and I like that an awful lot. There's one thing with these guys where they fucking. I hate absolute. This is a real I'm a monogamy man, right? I'm big on monogamy.
Famously, yeah.
Love it, right? Fucking yes. Now, please don't leave me, Lana.
Yes.
Please.
Big on monogamy.
Big on monogamy.
Plasma and monogamy.
That's right. And I find there's a lot of creators who get big and I think leave the missus. And I mean, I don't know what's going on in their fucking lives, but I'll just quickly say, you know that Food Review Club guy?
Oh, wow.
Do you know him?
Yeah.
Do you know who that is? He's a big guy.
Yeah, and he's kind of got hench, but he's still big.
He has got the strangest body I've ever seen. If anyone doesn't know who we're talking about, he's this YouTuber called the Food Review Club, and he I mean, that's what it says on the tin. He goes around reviewing takeaways as they all fucking do. But he's made.
He was kind of first to the.
He's really big at it, and he's got like a whole team, and he wears Rolex and blah blah. But like, he's had like a body glow up. He doesn't look like the Silverback Tarzan.
No,
because he still looks fat. Do you know who he looks like? Who was that weird famous PR guy who went on Big Brother and had ab implants? Do you know who I'm talking about? Was it Perez?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, this
Perez Hilton, was it?
Yeah, maybe Perez Hilton, but he that's what this food review guy looks like. He's like he's insanely strong.
I mean, he's eating Bleecker Burger like 3 times a week.
But he's also training
lifting,
like a fucker. But the missus used to film his stuff, and now there's no sign of her, and I'm a bit
concerned.
But I like the Silverback Tarzan, and still got his
nice
missus.
relationship. There's very her trying to organise his thoughts for him.
That's right.
And what I really love about that is often with men that have had maybe a checkered past or a difficult past, the women that have stood by them, or the men that have stood by them, they see the best in them, and they really want the best for them. And you can see in that clip, she's trying to organise his thoughts for him and trying to help him, and I love that. That's great.
I don't think, but yeah, this is my only thing with him. He keeps talking about his past as if something horrendous happened. I don't think it did.
No.
I think what's happened is he's come up in a time of confessional mental health,
right.
like testimonials from men.
Yeah. How
how it's really important to admit that you've had problems. But like anytime he tries to admit what those problems were, he just says he likes dancing. Like he's like, I was raving. It's like, it's all right.
So I do get the sense maybe everything was kind of fine.
Yeah.
But it's like you have to have a story, and he's kind of trying to.
Yeah.
He's going to do an Edinburgh Fringe show.
Well, but this is it's essentially like the way that I kind of think about these TikTokers and these viral content creators now is like they're all in the queue for the X Factor audition or the Britain's Got Talent audition,
Right.
and it's like for getting ready for when they're in front of fucking Simon and whoever, and I don't know who even does it now, Nicole Scherzinger or whatever.
Mr. Beast.
It's like they're all getting their story straight. It's
Right.
like they all have to have a story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they get there, and yes, 15 minutes of fame.
I was
Eyes
a
are on me.
raver.
I've got the hundreds of thousands of numbers.
Yeah, right.
What's the story? I was raving.
I was raving. I liked drugs. Oh, did it get really bad? Not really. I mean, I kind of did them a bit.
I think I was addicted to nicotine at one point.
Join the club, brother.
Yeah, weren't we all, mate? But now he does this. And look,
And if he did have a very difficult past and he's kind of
we're sorry,
dancing
we're
around
sorry.
it, like,
Yeah.
fair enough. But, like, he seems like a well-adjusted, happy person with a good relationship. Although he does do this. He's breakdancing in his basement.
He's just sort of rolling around on the floor
Yeah.
to this music, whilst the Muhammad Ali quote is on the screen about the human being loses his health earning money, and then he loses money getting health back. He thinks about the future to the point of forgetting the present, so that he lives neither in the present nor in the future. He lives as if he was going to die, dies as if he had never lived. That's what's on the screen while he's doing sort of roly-polies on the floor.
It is like when I used to think I was breakdancing when I was like 7. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like in my nan's living room.
I'm 99% sure I did that kind of dancing in an assembly once when I was 11 to Lose Yourself by Eminem.
Exactly. That's definitely the vibe.
And you know what? I think that would be my story. When they haul me in front of the judges.
In front of the judges.
And what's your sob story? Why are you doing the Screen Rock podcast? What trauma are you trying to recover from? Well, in front of my school, I did Lose Yourself by Eminem, and I genuinely did do that. I did do a breakdance to Eminem, Lose Yourself. That did happen. My kind of recovery from that has been to do this sort of self-harming podcast where I admit to crimes and read the Quran. Others who are involved, like my mate Charlie, he's now got a weird relationship with a tortoise and he lives in a shed. I mean, look, how could I judge the Silverback Tarzan? For
I think overall,
when that's where the rest of us are.
That's where we're all doing mental roly-polies to ambient music in our heads. He's just doing it in real life. Look, I think we like the Silverback Tarzan. I think that
we like him. We think he's stoned. We don't think he stopped smoking
allegedly,
weed.
yeah.
Well, I think if the camera were to pan upwards, there would be a sock over a smoke alarm in his basement, and there would be like towels around the edge of the door frame to make sure the wife doesn't smell it. There is no way the man who says what makes women well horny. There's no way he's not stoned anymore.
Remember, if you're trying to have it on with your partner this week, remember the biggest time that women are horny is when you don't want to give it to them. So,
well, and when you're stoned in hench. Sorry, I know you're trying to wrap up, but the one
Desperately.
last comparison.
Jesus Christ.
The one last. What's that film? Is it American Beauty?
I think that's the one with Kevin Spacey where he falls in love with a teenager,
With
isn't
a kid.
Yeah.
And do you remember? There's a scene in that where he's in his garage. He's smoking weed.
Okay.
He's doing bench press.
Yes.
And the kid finally wants to have sex with him.
Right.
Maybe that's.
And we'll be having Kevin Spacey on the show next week to talk about that.
I think the Silverback Tarzan has cracked it. If you want to be a successful nonce nowadays, as Kevin Spacey, I mean, we all know about the allegations with old Kev.
Yes.
Smoke weed, get hench, downstairs, and talk about what makes women well horny.
Wisdom will come to you. Growth will come to you. That's all you need. We like the Silverback Tarzan. I hope his Patreon gets up and running. Maybe go and buy one of his greeting cards, support him. I hope that he continues to have a full and happy life doing what he's doing in his basement and breakdancing like a 7-year-old.
Roly-polies in the basement, handstands on the trolleys at the supermarket, plenty of weed when the missus
Stay
is
young,
looking.
stay free, stay happy.
Yeah.
Up the rotters.
And remember to feed your tortoises. God bless.